That's the beauty of social media, is all this stupid shit that you see. You can like post it. So you get like nice show. Somebody asked why his laptop was so big.
Really?
Yeah. It does look like huge.
Yeah. Do they know how big Andrew is?
No, so that's, I said, you know, he's a big man, so he has a big laptop.
Yeah.
Was someone talking shit about my laptop?
There was some shit talking, but I tamped it down real quick.
Thank you.
I'm not going to stand for that.
The laptop makes the man.
Correct. So do you have a call in mind, Maestro?
I do not. I can think.
Excellent.
Maestro, we got to get Mojo set up too, so we can play some calls. Because I want to mainly go over calls today. That's the most helpful, I think. We had some feedback for the codester.
Yes.
What was the feedback?
That I can't hesitate, that I was not assertive enough,
Mm-hmm.
that I mumbled.
Mm-hmm.
She was mumbling?
There's some mumbling going on.
I was pretending I was on the computer, like looking at things.
Okay, well, you didn't tell me that it was like you were doing it on purpose.
Oh, yeah, I was doing it on purpose.
Okay.
You still don't want me to do it if it's on purpose?
Well, if it's on purpose, it's okay.
Okay.
But it didn't, yeah, but the overall vibe wasn't assertive enough.
Yeah.
So maybe nix any mumbling for now until you just get more assertive, and then you can add it back in.
Okay.
Just practice, you know, being a different way.
Okay. Being different.
Yeah, I mean, because I think, if Kevin's at 4 hours per cold appointment right now
Yeah.
on calling.
So that means he's at least getting one
Is it
Right, so he's at least getting one a day, basically.
Is that just cold? I mean, he's getting one a day on cold, or
Not counting the warm appointments that come in.
not counting like the blast stuff?
Yeah, not counting. Oh, no, so sorry. No, he's at 5, right?
Yes.
day. Yeah.
He's at 5.
For
Five on the cold appointments, not counting the warm stuff that comes in. So only cold outreach appointments.
Okay.
He's at 5 hours per appointment.
Yeah.
And what are you at?
I'm at
You're at 6?
9. I'm at 9 for cold and
Okay.
and 5 for all of them.
Right. So that's you're at more like, because that's the issue is like, because some days I notice you guys are still only calling like the 3 or 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, it'll be like in 9 hours, it's one every 3 days.
Yeah.
Whereas if you can do, it's hard, I know, but if you can do more like 4.5 hours minimum,
Yeah,
then
I
that's
was
one
trying
every
to
2
get
days.
some yesterday, but yesterday we had like 2 meetings and then I
Mhm.
joined the SACS meeting, and so it was just a bunch of meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you have to balance it because you can't drive yourself crazy with it. Sometimes you just might need a break or whatever, or just can't do it one day, which is understandable.
Yeah.
But it definitely makes a difference.
Yeah.
The other thing too is Cody has a lot more time before we did a lot of training and got the weekly lists.
Yeah.
So that's gonna pull down our numbers a little bit.
Good.
You know, so I might add a separate one for like, since we started doing the weekly list, like the last 2 weeks. That'll be more fair comparison.
Sure.
So, I mean, if you do that, I mean, I think based on that, because Kevin had a long time too where he didn't call the weekly list and we didn't do a lot of training. And so if he's at 5 hours, I think we could probably be at like 3 to 4 hours.
Right.
I think where we should be per cold appointment. And so that's one a day.
That's great. That would be great.
So, I mean, that'd be really good.
Yeah.
And that'd be just from you guys, it'd be like 10 appointments a week schedule. That'd be 40 a month just on that.
Yeah.
If that's legitimate, which I think it should be, because I mean Joyce, who's in the Philippines, is at 4 hours per
Yeah.
appointment.
Is she
She's basically our best caller,
Joyce is an animal.
Is she?
and we pay her $5 an hour.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
She's a
Oh, man.
beast.
Does she sound good?
She's a
I
machine.
never talked to her, I don't think.
Yeah, she's a machine. Her notes are.
No, she doesn't sound good.
She
She
sounds
doesn't
terrible.
sound
That's
good
the
if she
funny
gets
part.
in?
She doesn't sound good. But like our appointment's bad or something, they flake a lot, because there may be mitigating factors.
Yeah,
I mean, they're worse than like.
They're definitely worse.
Okay. Yeah, so her appointments aren't as good quality, so it's not, you know, so we have to account for that. So realistically, like, per good appointment, I'm sure it's more. I'm sure it's like maybe only 1 every 2 appointments or 3 is any good.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's actually more than you guys.
Yeah.
But she did have a lot, yeah.
Yeah, so
And she's calling the same list as us.
she's calling worse lists. Actually, I don't even think do we even have her on the good list? The weekly list?
She got all the old stuff.
She used to be.
I think it's fine for her to call the weekly list because we have 400 to 600 new a week to call,
Yeah.
and
She's
each
been-
one has 4 numbers.
I think
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. I agree. Because then a new one comes out and then you haven't even gone through the other list like twice.
Yeah, exactly.
So it doesn't matter.
So it's good. I mean, that should be better, right? Because like
Yeah.
you just kind of have fresh stuff coming all the time.
Yeah.
I think that helps it from being as old too, because you're like, okay, cool, fresh list, like,
Mm-hmm.
like a fresh set of people to go after.
Yes.
Because I think so we'll see.
I have a
Yeah,
question
so far so good.
for Cody. On the appointment that we have, I think it's later today.
For the Brenda one?
yeah.
Yes.
Have you spoken with her?
I called her and left a voicemail, and then I have to call her again. So.
I think. Oh, okay. I think she's pretty flaky.
Yeah.
Person. I think that one.
In
That
the
name
notes,
is
because that
familiar
one
to
was
me.
a warm one. In
Yeah.
the notes, it seems like she has been, because I think we even rescheduled last week. So-
I think that one's been on on and off the calendar for quite a while.
Yeah, because it
So-
looks like it started in the 8th. What is that, September 31st?
You know, what I wanted to ask you about that, in the notes it says that she initially told you she didn't want to sell or something like that, and but then she started talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what happened on that call? Is it possible we could listen to that call even?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we definitely can find it on Mojo as long as we have the name of the person.
Yeah.
Andrew, is the Zoom
Oh,
set up though?
no,
Where's
this
the
one,
Zoom?
this
Yeah,
won't be on Mojo.
it's been on.
Okay, and
I
are
didn't
you
call
like
it
are like
Mojo.
sharing the
Okay.
screen or whatever? I guess so they can see.
Because I called her as a follow-up on warm leads.
Okay.
And who's on the Zoom meeting?
Joe.
Joe, can you hear us? Okay.
Yeah, that's one I should
Okay.
probably give a lot more detail on.
Do you remember that?
Howie and Mark should be on. Email them, please, right now.
I just remember asking her like how much she owes, and I was like, it says here because Andrew had put down like she owes around 175.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, do you still owe around 175? She goes, I don't remember that. I think so. It could be like 160 now. And so that was like,
Yeah.
okay, so then no, you don't know what you owe. And
That's
then
okay.
how
Like,
much you
sometimes
want.
people like that have like weird reactions to questions that
Kevin, you gonna join us?
Yeah, I was,
Or not,
I was trying to find this.
they
one
shouldn't have.
particular call,
There's
but I
like
didn't see
a
it.
reaction that isn't
Kinda
consistent
weird,
with the
though.
question.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know,
It's weird.
like, and who knows why? It'd be like, oh, that's okay. So maybe it could even be less. You know, you just
Yeah.
go through it. Like, don't like take that bait because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
The reaction doesn't make sense. So don't try and like make sense out of it.
Okay. Yeah, because it was like, how do you not?
And are you having Cody and Kevin confirm the appointments or whatever, or if there's any additional information needed, having them get it, or having Sensei get it?
A combination. Depends on what's in the notes. I mean, if it's mostly complete, I might just call it myself.
Uh-huh.
If there's really needs more information, I'll usually go back to Kevin or Cody.
Yeah, that's good. I think Cody and Kevin should mainly be the ones doing it.
Okay.
Then also teach them what information is missing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of just get in the habit of it, and also free Sensei up.
Yeah.
So
more
sort of
sense.
be in his flow of genius, his zone of genius.
Do you think Sensei is gonna get in character to the training?
Probably. 'Cause I can remember having even remember.
He should be feeling good. His team beat my team last night. He's been talking about how they were going to do that since last week. So
Yeah, UVA beat Morgan State by like 40.
yeah, they blew us out.
Is that the Morgan State warm-up suit?
No, this is actually the all day I dream about success suit.
And also, Kevin's going to see Grant Cardone
Yeah,
on Friday.
yeah.
Who?
Grant Cardone,
He's a
10x
YouTuber,
rule.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a very famous guy in
Very
entrepreneur
famous guy.
circles.
Oh.
He's kind of a maniac. He's worth like $300 million. He's got like tens of thousands of
Yeah.
apartment units and like a Gulfstream jet that's like $50 million.
Yeah,
He's
he's
fucking
like
rich.
the GOAT.
A super hot
Is that
life,
your
and he
goal?
lives in Miami in like a penthouse apartment overlooking the ocean.
Yeah.
And like 2 cute kids. He's
Nobody
basically-
big, but
He's basically killed it. And he's like a maniac. He's like 10x baby, and he's like basically just like massive action is kind of his thing, and he's sort of like a caricature of himself kind of person.
Yeah.
You know, we wrote some books, and Kevin liked the book a lot, and it's a good book.
Yeah.
And he's coming to DC on Friday, and the Allied title guys were going to give me free tickets, so I said that Kevin should go. So he's going to go on
Yeah,
Friday
that
and
was a
see
gift,
his boy
man.
Grant.
Yeah, I can't
Your
wait.
boy.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my hair cut Thursday and everything. Like, I'm not playing.
Your hair's like a centimeter long.
Just gotta get a shape up, man.
Andrew's
That's a
like,
black.
You gotta get a shape.
Look at my hair.
Yeah, you're in shape, dude. You don't
Are you gonna
understand
wear
that, dude.
you're gonna wear that?
No, I'm gonna dress up.
jumpsuit?
I have a turtleneck now.
You have something more formal than that?
We're the caller.
Yeah.
So is 10x a thing where it's like you call 100 times, talk to 10?
No, 10x is like basically like whatever amount of action that you're putting forth to try to get to a given result. Just do a fuck of a lot more of it.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to call like banks to get a loan on a mobile home park, like I was doing, and like you call like 10 or 15 and they all tell you no, call like 100.
Call like 100. Yeah.
And if you like just do enough action, you'll probably like find one. Just like sort of overcoming obstacles through just like massive action.
Yeah.
Most people just don't do. So yeah, I mean it's very valid.
Hell yeah. I found it to be very helpful. That's why, like, usually I try to do between like 300 and 500 calls a day.
Right.
You know, and even if I gotta stay a little late.
So you should be
I'll
doing
do that.
1,500 calls a day?
If it was possible, yeah. Yeah. But I think at some point my wife will tell me I gotta come home. So.
So do we have calls lined up?
Yes. So like I said, I couldn't find Daryl Van Hoos for some reason in here, but Clarence.
Can
Cotton-
you search for Daryl Van Hoos?
Yeah, please.
Just do all agents, Muffy, and then sort it by name, and then go to the D's and see if you see Daryl Van Hoos.
This is the one that you're gonna move?
Yeah, I moved it. Yeah.
You did move it?
Yeah, I moved it.
You talked to Mr. Van Hoos?
Yeah, he was giving me a lot of pushback. I got an appointment, but it was a lot of pushback.
What day did you call him on?
Yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
And when is the appointment now scheduled? For?
Next week.
With
Yeah.
Mr. Van Hoos?
Monday.
Okay.
At 3:30. Trying
Monday
to fill
at
up the
3.
calendar for next
Alright.
week.
Did he seem like he wants like a boatload of money for that property? I mean,
Yeah.
He seemed like kind of like a nut.
Yeah, like one of those guys that bought a house in DC and now because there's a bunch of construction
Yeah,
and stuff
like-
going on
With
around.
$1 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Daryl
Well,
Van Hoos
if
is
my
on
business
your-
cards are
He's
in
not, he's
by
not on
then,
there.
Yeah,
If
I'll
your
get
business
that.
cards.
I will.
All right. So let's not
Van
worry about
Hoos.
that one.
Clarence Cotton is another one.
Clarence, Mr. Cotton.
Yeah.
Clarence Cotton.
So I had to follow up with him later on.
Oh, here we go.
But
You got Clarence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's fire Clarence up. And then, are you recording this?
This is Clarence Cotton.
yeah.
Original Van Hoos.
Are you ready for this, Joe?
Yeah.
All right, Joe's ready.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Kevin. I
We'll
was,
be there in case
calling
you
about
pause
the
it.
house on
Yeah, I'm just
Second
going to the
Street.
other side, so I'm not like.
Yeah. Hi, I know this call is completely random and out of the blue. My partner Andrew and I were actually driving to one of our rental properties in the area on Saturday, and we happened to notice that property while driving, and just thought we'd reach out to see if you'd ever considered selling.
Boss.
Yes, I've considered selling it, but
Yeah, so have the thing set up, Andrew, and then just be
you and your partner Andrew, what's the name of your
He
business?
moved over to that side for some reason.
Yeah,
It was
so I'm
just a
not
small
seeing-
investment,
How's the
something
closet?
Why is
we
this
got
not
properties
working?
locally in the area. We call.
The hit zone is way too small. It's like 1 pixel.
Thank you, Andrew. Yes, I thought that intro was very good.
Okay.
That was very good. I thought it was much better than what we were hearing last week. And I noticed that hearing you on the phone too.
I also have noticed that too. The intro is just a lot more like smoother, and it's also like seems like you're actually calling out of the blue.
Okay.
more
Right,
than
it sounds a lot more
before.
real. I mean, it's because, and I noticed you are constantly switching it up a little bit.
Yeah, that helps me out too to
Yeah,
try to
that-
keep it fresh.
That's a good trick to do, to keep doing. And have you been doing that too, Cody?
Yeah, I've been trying to, yeah.
How did you? I was trying to understand how you were able to keep a straight face when you said, "Am I speaking to Daryl Van Hoos?"
And he was a nut. I just thought about the money.
All right, Muffy, let's.
Hey, how did you start the call? It's kind of hard. It was kind of hard to hear the very beginning there for a sec.
It was hard for you to hear the beginning.
What did you say? Or what was?
I'll play it again.
Yeah, play the beginning again, and then we can pick it up after that.
Hello. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Kevin. I was calling about your house on 2nd Street. Yes. Hi, I know this call is completely random and out of the blue. My partner Andrew and I were actually driving to one of our rental properties in the area on Saturday, and we happened to notice that property while driving, and just thought we'd reach out to see if you'd ever considered selling. Yes, I've considered selling it, but tell me what you say. You and your partner Andrew, what's the name of your business? So we're just a small investment company. We buy properties locally in the area. We call Four Brothers Buy Houses. So we got a couple rental properties throughout Northwest and Virginia. And I guess.
Okay. Why did you give the name of the company?
I don't even know. And I normally don't.
Okay, so don't do that.
Yeah, I know that.
So don't do that.
And I know that. And I know, like, I've never done that.
Right. And how are we supposed to respond when someone asks what company you're calling from?
Just a small investment. I mean, I'm just a small company. I really don't have a entity or anything like that. We just buy houses locally.
That's okay. How's another way we can respond to it?
I just own a few rentals.
Right. Joe, what's that?
Oh no, I had a call actually, I think on Thursday like that, and the lady was like, "What's the name of the company? What's the name of the company?" And I was like, "Well, it's not a company, really. Like, it's just me and like a buddy of mine. We have a couple rental houses that we work on together. We're trying to get this started. We're just trying to look for some more properties in the area."
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, that was the closest to the right answer. That was basically right, Joe. Good. But that's what you say, right? I mean, what's the name of your company? It's not a company.
Mm-hmm.
I buy houses.
Yeah.
My name's Kevin. As I said, I'm looking to buy some more houses. We open it all up, maybe sell them.
Yeah.
It's not a company. It's not a company.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a fucking company.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's still kind of hanging us up. So don't say the company name.
Yeah. I know
that's a big no-no. Big
no.
no-no.
I did that.
So that's cool. So he's interested in selling.
And this is Clarence Cotton.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Is this scheduled?
No. So I called him at 6:15. He didn't answer. I called him again this morning and sent him a text. So basically, he was kind of playing the evading game.
Yeah, well,
All right,
let's
well,
keep listening to it.
yeah.
And then the other thing is, don't say no. It's completely random and out of the blue.
Yeah.
Remember, so what are you supposed to say?
Either or.
Right.
Yeah.
Either random or out of the blue.
Yeah.
It's just sort of like random and out of the blue is just sort of a weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't really, just a weird kind of thing to say.
Yeah.
Right. And so Cody, you have to be more assertive on that answer, though. Right. This is another example where, what company are you calling from? You have to have like a firm, rehearsed 1,000 times answer to that question. Like, it's still kind of sounding uncertain when you just gave the answer. Like it's the same question over and over again.
Okay.
Right?
And I say the same thing too. I just say, I just own a couple rental houses in the Maryland area, DC, or wherever they are.
Uh-huh.
Like if it's Woodbridge, I'll be like, I own a couple of rentals in Woodbridge. That's usually what I say. Or like wherever they're from.
And what else did you say? I own some rentals in Woodbridge.
Yeah, were you interested in something?
Right.
Yeah.
Come back to where you open it all to help us on the house. Right? I'm just a person. My name's Cody, and I own some houses, and I'm looking to buy some more houses. So I called you to see if I could buy your house. Were you interested in selling?
Yeah.
Right? That's all I gotta do. Don't make this hard on yourselves.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's keep going.
We just kind of looking to purchase our next property. I'm Kevin. I'm sorry. What's your name, sir?
My name is Clarence.
Nice to meet you, Clarence. Good afternoon. I appreciate you taking the call. I know you said you guys, were thinking about selling. I'd love to, submit you an offer here. Maybe only take about 2 minutes if you got time.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm driving right now, and you sort of catching me at an inopportune time to give you my full focus. So what I would suggest is you take my email.
Okay.
CL Cotton Jr. at hotmail.com.
Oh, man.
Got it.
Cotton is spelled with two O's, just like the material, 2 T's.
Got it.
Okay.
How about this? Could I maybe give you a call back in, let's say, about 35 or 45 minutes, so that way, you can kind of get somewhere and we can kind of maybe talk a little bit, because we're definitely interested.
Okay, well, this is what I'm suggesting. Any offer that you want to put on the property, you can put it in writing to me and email it to me, and then let me know when you send it. Either call me or text
There we
me
go.
so that I
Pause.
can
There is another common
be
objection.
sure to
right?
take a look at it. And that's
It's like email me.
Yeah.
Like, just I don't have time to talk right now. Just email me your offer.
Mhm.
Like send me your offer. Text me your offer.
Mhm.
Whatever it is. Anyway, that's another common objection that it should be pretty easy to overcome. I thought you did good with the way after you did the whole company part, which you shouldn't do. But after that, I thought you did well. Kind of like with the whole if you got 2 minutes right now, I can just make you an offer right over the phone. Very conversational, very normal, right? And he responded that it was an inopportune time for him. He's driving, and you said, "When can I call you?" Or can I call you back in like 30, 45 minutes? I would just for me, I would just ask the person. So if they're like in the middle of something, and you first just try to have the conversation now.
Okay.
If you can. In that case, because he was driving and seemed very like firm about not wanting to do it, I probably wouldn't try to have the conversation because if he's driving or whatever.
Yeah.
But find out like, okay, cool. Like, are you gonna be like free a little bit later? Like, can I give you a call back? As opposed to you proposing a time, kind of ask them when
will be free.
Yeah.
Okay.
When's a good time for you to call you back? And then he probably would say in this case, well, just let me give you my email address and email me the offer, which is fine. So we'll talk about that.
I would say, and I think the reason why I said 35, 45 minutes was to kind of put the ball back in my court a little bit, to kind of take control, just because what I observed, and this is just me starting to try to listen to understand, as soon as he gave me email, I sensed pushback. So I said, okay, let me kind of take it in control just a little bit without being forceful, and say, okay, you're driving 35 or 45 minutes, because I don't know where you're driving to or what you're doing and how much you're blowing me off. So I figured if he would at least agree to the 35 or 45 minutes, I kind of have him locked in at a certain time frame, and then just to try to reach out to him during that time versus him saying, oh yeah, well, call me back at this time or call me back at that time.
Yeah, I like being more assertive.
Okay.
I think it's a small point. I think either is okay. My preference is always to ask them.
To ask them, okay.
Because if they say no, right, like 34 minutes, well, no, I'm still going to be driving then.
I got you.
And then you're like, okay, well, when is a good time?
I got you.
It's kind of like you're already kind of on the path to know at that point, sort of, as opposed to just open-ended, like, okay, well, like when's a better time? Like, when are you going to be free? Like, have a minute. And then reiterate, though the key is then reiterate the purpose of the call and what they're going to get from it.
Got it.
Like, when would be a better time for you? Because, like I said, it's just literally I've got like 2 questions I have to ask you. It takes like 35 seconds, and I can make you an offer right over the phone. When would you have like just 2 minutes?
Yeah, got it.
So reiterate like the brevity of it and that what they're going to get, right? Which is a firm exact number from you and what you're going to pay for the house.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's like putting the ball back in their court and then reintroducing them to the carrot again.
Right, reiterating the brevity, how brief the call is, and what they're going to get out of it. So we're kind of constantly, in many points, reiterating how quick it is, whether it's the call or the appointment, and what they're going to get from it, whether it's your call or the appointment.
Okay.
Which is the same thing, which is getting the offer.
And then we can talk after that.
So we said send me the email, and then
Sure. Now the thing is, we can do that. That's no problem. I just need to kind of get some more info about the house, like bedrooms, bathrooms, things of that nature. So I know you said you're driving. Well, what would be a good time to just kind of call you back so I can get the necessary information that I need to email you that offer? I have no problem communicating with you through email. I just need a call.
Okay. I would say after 6 today, or try me again tomorrow.
what do we think about that handling of the objection?
I liked it. He was like, yeah, no problem doing it over email, but we do need to talk.
Yeah. That was exactly right.
Okay.
You know, you're telling him, well, we're going to do what you want us to do. Like, you don't want to ever be battling with the seller, like not giving them what they want. We just sort of give them what they want, or at least tell them we're going to give them what they want.
Right.
So yeah, absolutely, like no problem communicating with you over email. But you just need just like a little, like real basic info on the house to be able to email you that offer that you want. When would you have? A couple minutes.
Okay.
For me to get that from you, and then I'll email you the offer just like you wanted.
Yeah, I
So it's good.
picked that up from the last training to kind of, like you just said, brevity, still trying to push back and get what you want, but also still kind of playing their game at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, that's good.
That's good. And like that phrasing in particular, like we'll talk for 2 or 3 minutes, so I can send it to you by email like you wanted, right? So I can get you what you wanted. Like that's like a powerful couple of words there, because you're sort of emphasizing like you're expressly saying I'm going to do what you said, right? Like it's the opposite of like being like I'll do that, but
right.
It's instead you're saying great. So when can we talk for 2 or 3 minutes so that way I can do what you're asking.
Yeah, I think you pretty much always want to agree.
Yeah.
Whatever they're saying. Like you pretty much never, or very rarely, I think, would ever want to say but.
Yeah.
Like he's saying, like Kevin's saying. It's always like yes and. Like, yeah, I can do that, and to be able to do that, here's what I need. So you're saying like and instead of but.
Okay.
Right, whereas the real thing is but you're saying like yes and sort of instead. Okay.
How about I call you at 6:15 today, so I don't even have to call you tomorrow?
That's fine. That's fine. If you can do that, I didn't know what your schedule is.
Oh no, I'm open, man. It's Christmas holiday season, so we're grinding on this. And what I'll do, Chris, is I'll give you a call at 6:15 sharp. It's only going to take about 2 minutes. It's just some information that I need in order to get you that offer. So that won't be a problem at all. I'll definitely make sure to call you at about 6:15. Okay?
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, not a
Your
problem.
name again is Kevin. Is that correct?
Yes, it's Kevin. And did you, by any chance,
What's your
know
last
what
name,
property?
Kevin?
Taylor. Taylor.
So, you might be different than me, but I hate giving exact times.
Let's say some feedback.
Because then you're obligated. You're like basically creating an obligation for yourself.
Okay.
And then if you don't call at that time, that gives them a reason to be like mad with you.
Okay.
And with this, like you could be in a call or completely forget because you've talked to 50 people since.
Why would you not call at the time though? Like how hard is it to put a calendar planner in or whatever?
Alternatively, you could just call them at the time.
Right. Yeah, I would disagree with that. I think it's fine.
Okay.
I mean, you just have like you're right. You have to commit to calling at that time.
Yeah.
So, but there's no reason to not be able to call them
Yeah.
when you said you would, and that also kind of obligates them in the same way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to be stalking them.
We'll disregard them.
No, but I get what you're saying.
You have
For
to
me,
do
I'm
what
a
you say
time
you're-
guy,
you have to do
so
what you
it
say
was
you're
good
gonna
for
do.
me. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna say. It was good for me, just because I'm one of those guys where if it's 6:15, it's 6:15 for me. But I get what you're saying because with what we do, you never know what you're
Yeah,
going
you
to
could
be
have
doing.
just got on the phone with someone at like 6:10 and then
Absolutely.
been stuck with them for like 20 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, then you'd have to just hang up with that person, and be like, hey, look, Mr. Seller, I'm talking to you right now. I got a meeting I got to run to. I'll give you a call back in like 5 minutes, and just do your obligation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's good because that's more likely to obligate the seller as well. Otherwise, you're going to be playing fucking like the time it's a lot more efficient use of your time to just be in the middle of something and stop what you're doing and to call with the seller and just go back to the other seller than it is for you to have to be like stalking this person.
Yeah, and then I locked in 6:15 because as you can tell, he was kind of back and forth. So I tried to do 6:15 just to lock him in at a time.
Yeah.
So it was almost
That's
like
good.
we were playing chess back and forth.
So I think it was good. You got him to laugh a little bit.
Mhm.
Right, use a little personality.
Yeah.
Always good. I would be careful. And I think this was this was a little bit of an issue with the woman that we met with.
Okay.
You say it's the holiday season. We're grinding over here, which is cool, right? That's fine to say, but it's not consistent with what you said earlier that you're just like a person.
Okay.
So if somebody calls you on that, you're probably going to be like, well, I mean, they're going to pick up their bullshit radar is going to go off.
Gotcha.
And that's what happened with that woman.
Yeah.
A little bit. So
Yeah.
just like you want to be careful, to be consistent
With the narrative.
whatever you're going with.
Okay.
Because if somebody picks up like that woman, I think was like did not really believe
Yeah.
the white pages thing.
Yeah.
And so, and that's why I just told her in the meeting, I was like, oh, skip tricks.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so just be mindful of that.
Just cognizant of the narrative that I said at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, you could be grinding as somebody that has an investment company or trying to buy houses. So I think it's sort of, in this case, I think it's passable. Like I don't think it would raise too many red flags in this case. But yeah, just in general. Yeah, you just like whatever it is, like we talked about, right? If you're gonna say, my wife and I were driving around to your house, and it's like, what's the name of your company? Like, oh, well, it's Four Brothers by House. Like, that obviously would be like dumb, and then be like, okay, so you're just like lying, and you broke trust and report immediately. And
Gotcha.
You're putting yourself way behind, right?
Gotcha.
So whatever your story is,
Yeah, I guess he said four, but yeah, so that made
if it's more on the investment company
right.
kind of angle. Like if
Yeah,
it was just me and my wife, and then you're like, oh, I'm just grinding over here.
Yeah.
It's
You're
not
right.
what-
You're right. That was fine in that
That
case.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
Okay. So I have to be mindful of the narrative.
You just have to, it has to be consistent.
Yeah.
It's just consistency. Whatever your story is, it has to be consistent throughout. Just like the whole we thing, right,
Yeah,
that we talk about a bunch, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I was just driving by and noticed your house. I was calling to make you an offer. Yeah, well, when we are evaluating houses, we typically It's like, wait, is it who's the other person you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, I thought that was really good. You showed personality, you in the way that you can, right? Like other people wouldn't be able to do that, but you're like your personality is always just sort of like bursting forward,
Yeah.
you know, which is very useful and very effective in calls. And it's a good natural trait that you have. So that's great, you know, and you got them to kind of loosen up and laugh a little bit at the end. So and you got it. I think that was about as good as that call could have gone.
Yeah.
So I think that was very good.
Thank
Just
you.
little tweaks, but yeah, that was good.
Be consistent with the narrative.
All right, Coaster, do you have one, especially after the training, that we can listen to?
We could get Daryl.
I had a couple there for today.
Yeah, I want everybody to have calls that we can go over. What account are you calling on, Cody? We'll just pick one.
Yeah, account 3.
Okay. Then Joe will do one of yours after this. So have one in mind, Joe, if you can.
Yeah, I have some I put in the in what's it called? Podium.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have some.
Okay.
Cody, Kunina Smith, Bose Radman, Joan Kilpatrick, Devin Gardner, any of those?
Oh, let's just pick one. Like, we'll do it by duration.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay. So let's just pick the first one. Second one.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Cody. I was calling about your house over there on Greenway Boulevard.
Yes?
And I know this call's a little bit random here. I actually own a couple of rentals in the Falls Church area, and I was passing by your house the other day going to one of mine, and I thought, I'd give you a call to see if you'd ever possibly consider selling.
Say that again?
I was just calling to see if you were interested in possibly selling your house or maybe just hearing my offer.
Are you a real estate agent?
Let's pause. So what do we think about the intro?
I think she did good. I think she did pretty good on the intro.
Cody?
That one's not. This one was a little one that I feel like I hesitated. I don't. You know how there's like space in between like when they end and I start? I don't understand how that happens. Like,
Yeah, well, so that's the Mojo system that they're going to say hi,
Yeah.
and then it takes a second for the Mojo system,
Oh, okay.
and then you hear it. So a lot of times, that's why I say when it goes green,
Yeah.
when someone answers,
Just go
you
straight.
immediately start talking.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they've said hello,
Yeah. 'cause
it
that's
goes
like-
green, and you don't hear anything,
Yeah.
so then you're like, hello?
Yeah.
And then it
Yeah,
puts it
it
off like in a
buses,
cold,
yeah.
people know cold callers have that delay.
Yeah.
So as soon as it goes green,
Just go.
you assume they say hello, and you're talking to the right person, you just go into it.
Okay. Okay. Because yeah, that.
But so that's a small thing. So what did you think about how you did the intro?
I changed it up of how I usually do it with same rentals in the Woodbridge area, but then I was driving by mine. I think I did okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I think when the guy was like, huh? Or like, what? She was kind of like flustered a little for like a second. But
Yeah, there's still a little bit of like, still a little bit of that like comfort with when people give you something and you have to
Yeah.
respond to it.
Yeah.
It has to just be more, still more confidence and assertive. You're just gonna have to fake it
Okay.
until you get in the habit of being in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one, and then I think there's still some shit that you're saying that's like the same stuff from a few weeks ago that I think is stale.
Okay.
Talking about your house over there.
Okay.
Over there.
Yeah.
It just sounds like weird and fake to me. You just got to switch it up.
Okay.
How could you switch it up? Give me an example.
Here on.
Right, so give me an example. Do an intro like in a totally fresh way you've never done before, just right now. And you can take a second if you want.
Okay.
But think about, don't use like any of the same words you normally use.
All right, ring ring.
Hello?
Hi, this is Jessica. I was calling about your house here on Maple Street.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know this call's a little strange here. I'm a local investor, and I was driving by to your house, and I don't know what I'm going to say.
Well, let's try again.
That was good.
So take a second.
That was good.
So the Jessica thing helps. The here on helps.
Yeah.
Remember, have an idea in your head of the situation. You have to like make believe, and then that's what you're going to use when you're talking. So take a second and then let's do it again. So I'll give you an example,
Okay.
right? I'm going to make some shit up. Andrew, ring ring.
Hello?
Hey, this is John. I was calling about your house on the street called Apple Street.
Okay.
Yeah, so sorry, I know this is a little bit bizarre, but I was taking my kids off to their basketball game, and I drove by your house. We took like a side street thing, and I noticed it and was just curious. I know this is a little strange, but if you would be open and all me making an offer to buy the house. I don't know, an example, right? I mean, I said something
Like
weird
basketball.
like the street called, which even like is dumb, but like it just makes you not say the same thing,
Yeah.
and you have to use your brain. So when you're actively thinking, they can hear it. When you're an autopilot, like you get to a lot, they can hear it.
Yeah.
That's not as effective. So take a second and then just some sort of scenario. I think Kevin does that a lot, right? With my wife, or something with your kids. You say sometimes, right? Or
Yeah.
my cousin, I think he says sometimes. He's got a whole set of different random things that he says, and you can use the same ones over and over again.
Okay.
You need to have 4 or
Just
5
have
different
it.
ones that you're like rotating through.
Okay. Ring ring.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Jessica. I was calling about your house here on Maple Street.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know this call's a little random here. I was actually headed to my friend's dinner party the other day, and I actually own some rental houses, in the Woodbridge area. And I passed by your house going to her house, and I thought I'd give you a call, see maybe if you wanted to sell yours.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely better. I think. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I mean, it is the assertiveness. I mean, I think
Yeah.
within the constraints of your personality to a degree, right? Like you kind of have to fake it a little bit, but I don't know if for you it would be helpful to like just kind of keep in mind like what's the objective of the call, right? Because I do think you get sidetracked when people say things that are off script, which happens all the time. So like, why are you calling them?
To buy their house.
To buy their house, right? That's all, right? And so, what are you trying to do? You want to buy their house. So, and you need to do what on the phone?
Need to find out information.
Find out information, and then set an appointment, right? It was like, so like all this other stuff that people bring up, like, who are you? Like, you did what? No, I'm sorry. Which is like extraneous, right? It just kind of just be like, treat it that way. It's like, I'm Cody, right? Like I'm calling about your house. I own a couple rentals. I'm interested in buying it. Would you be open to an offer? Like that's what I'm doing. That's what you're doing.
Okay.
Those are the things. So just keep focused on that. So whenever somebody says something about something over here, you're like, I'm calling about your house because I have some rentals. And I'd like to buy it, I'd like to make an offer. Are you open to that? Just stay like laser focused on those 3 things.
Okay. That helps. Yeah.
Let's do the intro again, and you can use that and do a slightly different variation of it again. We're just going to practice this, right? And then and this time, along with the variation, just try to sound a little more assertive.
Okay.
Like just an easy way is raise the volume of your voice.
Okay.
Right. Another easy way is make sure when you're talking, if you ask a question, you end on a down note. I want to see if you're open to selling your house.
Okay.
If you're interested in selling your house,
Okay.
your house,
Your house.
house, not house. That's but
Yes,
just
sure.
focus on the volume thing. You
Okay.
can just a volume and assertive, and then just pick some other scenario.
All right.
Okay.
Ring ring.
Hello.
Hi, my name's Cody. I was calling about your house over there on Maple Street.
Yeah.
I know this call's a little random here. I own a couple rentals, and I was curious to know if you were interested in possibly selling.
Okay. I think that was better. I think you need to force yourself to talk louder. I think it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Like we can hear Kevin all the time, and we can never like really hear you.
That's true.
You have to not be as quiet. You have to just force yourself to talk louder until it becomes more natural for you.
Yeah.
The tonality was a lot better. Yeah, it was a lot better. You still defaulted to a lot of the same things again, right? Your house over there on, like you just fall into autopilot all the time. You just have to not do that. We've gone over it. You know how to do it. You just have to do it. You have to be thinking.
Is there like a particular narrative that you feel most comfortable with when you make these calls? Like, I know Kevin, because I can hear him,
Yeah.
changes it up a lot. But is there a particular version of the call that you feel like is easiest for you, or you feel is most authentic?
Definitely like either like the renovations or rentals.
What's the renovations?
Like I'm going to a renovation, like a house I'm renovating in the area, or like I own a couple rentals. Basically, is my callbacks.
Okay.
These are the things that I feel comfortable saying. Yes.
And you're going to you're renovating a house that you bought as an investment.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah. Like usually I say like I just purchased a rental over there and I'm going to we're renovating it, so I went by the other day and I passed by your house and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess you want her to constantly switch it up.
I think so.
Okay.
Because the problem is when it's the same thing over and over again, it sounds autopilot to me.
Okay.
It just has to not sound autopilot. I mean, if you can just say the same thing and not have it sound autopilot, which you can do by just little word choices, right? Like you can take the basic thing of like, I was driving to one of my houses, I saw your house, and I wanted to see if you wanted to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to one of my properties, I saw your home, was wondering if you were open to an offer. There's like 1,000 different little variations, and you can say the same exact fucking thing, right? So I don't know what's going to be easier for you and more effective in getting you out of the autopilot mode.
Mm-hmm.
Either way works. We just need it to not sound autopilot.
And I don't know if Cody, because she's more naturally softer spoken and not as assertive to be maybe more direct. Like cut out some of the filler words.
I think
Like that may help.
Okay.
Even if you don't change anything else, if you are like, hey, I was got a couple of rental, when it kind of meanders and you're in that softer tone,
Mhm.
it's sort of like,
It's like hesitant and
yeah. So you could just be like, Cody, I own 2 rentals in the neighborhood. I know this is out of the blue, but I was interested in your house, whatever. Like
Yeah.
if you shorten it up, even if it might help. I think. I think.
Well, so let's have her try it. So take a second. Think about the fewest possible words, the most direct way you can say this intro. You can tell them who you are and what you want.
Are you okay?
what?
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Is it cool or do you want to take a break?
Can I take a break?
Yeah, take a break. Okay. Let's continue on listening to the call.
No, I'm just an investor.
Investor, huh? No, we have no intention of selling.
Oh, okay. You were curious to hear maybe what my offer would be? I mean, it might be more than what you think.
Yeah, go ahead, make me an offer.
Yes, definitely. I'd love to make you an offer. And before this call, I was looking up some comparables of houses in your area that have sold, and in the past year, and so I kind of have an idea that they're kind of all over the place. Did you happen to have any recent renovations in your house at all?
Yeah, I just put a brand new furnace in. I got a basement is
That's good.
finished.
Yeah, pause it real quick.
Okay.
You were able to
roof.
turn them around. Yeah, that's good. All right, let's keep going.
Just a couple of years ago. Water heater is just maybe about 4 years old. So,
Wow, okay. And
lot of
then
new
what
stuff.
about kitchens and bathrooms?
Oh, we done that a long time ago. Maybe about 20 years ago.
Okay, so not recent.
Not recent.
So no, I don't want to sell, and now.
Okay, so that kind of makes it hard for me to give you a number here over the phone without actually going and seeing it. I'm going to be actually out in the area on Friday.
Well,
I thought by maybe for 5-10 minutes.
We wouldn't sell it anyway. We wouldn't. Sell
Okay, so you're going to
my wife, my wife is very, very ill, and we intend to stay home. She had strokes. She had a couple of strokes.
Oh no.
The only reason I'm kind of a little bit open to it in case we have to go to, assisted living or something, who knows.
Yeah.
This is actually a decent prospect.
I'm able to take care of her for the time being, but I don't know what the future looks like. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I see. Okay, well maybe I can follow up with you. I hope I hope your wife gets better there, and everything's well and all. Maybe I can follow up with you and see if things have changed or anything like that.
Yeah, you never know. Things change from year to year. Who knows?
Yes.
Nothing's the same.
Correct. Okay, well, sorry to catch your name.
Are you local? Are you local here in Falls Church?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, I personally live in Arlington.
In Arlington.
But yeah, I don't.
But that's almost as good as Falls Church.
Yes, exactly.
That's a joke.
Oh goodness.
Okay. So, you never know, I know there's, on this street, there's 5 new houses, people
Here, we can pause it.
over the last 3-4 years.
That's how we push back on people, right? Because
There's a mixture of old houses
It's a more popular area.
right? With those, you wouldn't be curious, and he's like, all right, well, I'll give you the crack at it. What's your offer? So that's why it's important to push back on it. Like, he's someone who you'll probably end up selling at some point, and very well to an investor.
Yeah.
Right. I would say still try to schedule the appointment. I think with this guy. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's it sounds like, yeah. You've at least, can come through, check it out, it'll tell you what the offer is, the usual script, and that way you'll know.
Yeah, that's true.
Whether it's now or in the future. You do sound old as shit, so maybe, you might want to start preparing.
Yeah.
It's a similar kind of thing where, like, we'll come by and see the house, tell you what the offer is, then at least you'll know if the time does ever come when it does make sense. It just takes 5 minutes. I'll drop an offer right off in your hand, right, reiterate kind of what they're going to get from it. I'm going to be right there on Thursday. How does 2 o'clock work? And then you just kind of set up. And then, in the interim, like we talked about last time, talk about the house more, about, to have a little more conversation.
And that's a good prospect too, because he's nice, right? He's willing to talk. He's very nice. And he's somebody that, if we met with, would probably be very easy to build rapport with.
Mm-hmm.
And then if he decides to sell in 6 months, if we kind of drip on him, we would probably be
His first choice.
in line to have a crack at it.
Yeah.
Did you add this one to Podio, like, as a lead?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. All right.
I just had a comment. With your stuff, Cody, you just want to kind of remove the emotion. Remove the emotion in the sense that they can't hurt you, and ultimately you want the appointment because you want the cash behind the deal actually closing and us getting under contract. So you got to always remember that, because I think that's what's going to help you to build your level of confidence, because ultimately you want the experience, of course, of being here, but really you want the payday that comes from cashing out on us getting the property under contract and actually selling it. So just always keep that in the forefront of your mind, regardless of what they say. I'm trying to get paid, and that's what really helps me, because like I said, I'm not the most confident person either, but I keep that in the front of my mind so that way, like Kevin said, I'm going here. Even if they try to veer off to the left, I'll answer your question, but I'm back here. Okay? So it kind of helps you to make it conversational, but also still direct and straight to the point. So just always remember when you're talking to them, this could very well be my next payday right here. Okay? So that way, you know what the set of questions are that you got to ask, regardless of what they say, how they say it, when they say it. You're on the phone for these particular reasons. And I think that may help you a little bit more in kind of freeing your spirit a little bit to ultimately get to the level that you're trying to go to. You just got to always remember, hey, listen, I'm here to get paid.
It's hard to be, not everybody can be as confident when they don't have on a tracksuit like that. But yeah, I think that's a good point.
Yeah, that's very good. And some people are motivated differently.
Yeah.
You're very money motivated, which is great. That's a language I understand. I'm the same way. I think the security's the same way.
Yeah.
People sometimes are motivated differently. You may be motivated a little differently.
Yeah.
Do you want to take a break?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. Yeah, that was good, but that's I mean that's how I would do it too when I call. Same way. That's what I keep in front of my mind.
I don't give
So you don't worry about the bullshit.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, just, It doesn't matter.
I don't care.
Yeah.
barely listening to what they're saying.
Not at all.
Like,
Yeah.
So, it's like,
Yeah, I guess we need to be careful with her and not,
When they start droning on, sometimes I'll literally like start checking my email, and then they'll stop talking to me like, oh, okay, and
Yeah, exactly. Like, when they're talking about the house in particular, you could
Yeah.
totally be doing something else, as long as they're just, because in a human interaction, talking is investing,
Yeah, absolutely.
right? Like we talked about kind of like last training, like if someone's talking to you and sharing, especially if they're sharing things,
Yeah.
the more personal, the better.
Yeah.
That's them investing in you. That's them building a relationship with you,
Yeah.
where they feel like they have that relationship.
Yeah.
So like, in any interaction, it's like if you can get, like if someone you just met, and you can get them, like they're sharing their deepest, darkest secrets with you,
Yeah.
like they're going to feel super strongly connected to you.
Yeah.
So,
That's like the Felicia when I rescheduled. Well, I'm trying to reschedule for next week, but she has so much going on. Like she's got diabetes, her son's wheelchair bound. So I know she definitely has motivation, but I mean her schedule's just all over the place. So I rescheduled her for next week, and I said, hey, listen, I'm gonna go ahead and put you down for Wednesday at 1. Let me know Monday if this works for you. But as of right now, we're coming at 1. So
it's good. Yeah, that's definitely the right move. You want to set the appointment up tentatively, and then Ted will call to confirm. Yeah, you always want to try to close on that appointment.
Yeah.
Joe, do you have one that we can listen to?
Yeah, I have one that was, it's supposedly an appointment for today, this afternoon, but it was also kind of tentative, just like what Kevin was saying. It was on Thursday. His name is Alfredi Ogburn.
What account do you call in, Joe?
5.
Okay.
So it was Thursday. Alfredi Ogburn was his name.
And his name was what?
Alfredi.
Alfredi?
Yeah.
Okay. On 5. Account 5.
Alfredi.
Yeah, Alfredi Ogburn.
Why is it not coming up, Joe? I don't think you're sharing the screen also, Andrew.
On Thursday.
Is this it?
Yeah.
Hello, my name's Joseph. Yeah, my name's Joseph. I was just giving you a quick call in regards to the house on 30 Square Lane. The house where? On 30 Square Lane in District 5. Who is this? My name's Joseph. I just got over to a rental house of mine in the area. We're just looking to get a couple more houses in the area. Just wanted to see if you were interested at all in making you an offer. You want me to make you an offer? No, I was going to make you an offer. What kind of offer can you make me? Yeah, I mean, I can definitely make you an offer right now. Let's see. Can I just get a little bit of info maybe? Like I said, I saw the outside of the house. Can you tell me maybe how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms? Yeah, I need my number first of all.
What is
No,
it?
I just drove past the house, looked at the address on Google, and then I think that the website was whitepages.com, and just came up with a few different numbers. It's the house, so. Like I said, if that was a blue phone, I do apologize.
Okay, boss.
Oh no, I was doing it.
So, Joe, after you respond to any question, what are we doing?
Ask them a question and get it back on track with the script.
Yep, so when he asked you how you got the number, what did you say?
I said that I had got the number and then found it on whitepages.com.
Okay. And then did you ask him a question after you said that?
No.
Okay. Why not?
I think, I mean, it's in the back of my mind to do. I was trying to engage this with the call, I think, but I think I was just waiting for his response, which obviously wasn't good because then he could have taken it any other way after that as well.
Right, yeah. Every time you answer a question, you ask them a question. You just have to get that habit. Every time you answer a question, you ask them a question. And you keep it back on track. But yeah, so far you've handled it pretty well, overall, I think. I mean, it's obviously been difficult from the beginning and challenging you a lot and stuff, but you're keeping it together. You don't sound like you're too kind of like reeling from it. Like you're you're handling it, I think, fairly well, which is good because he's a tough one.
I thought he was
at the beginning. Don't say regards. I'm calling in regards to your house. It just sounds like sort of fake or formal or weird. Just don't say that word. Don't say any formal words you wouldn't use when you talk to your friends.
Okay.
Like if you wouldn't call your buddy out and be like, "Hey man, I'm calling in regards to getting a beer tomorrow night." You like wouldn't say in regards. So don't say words you don't say.
Okay.
Yeah, like once you sort of got through the first little exchange and it was like, you were like, oh, I'm an investor. Like that part was much smoother. Yeah, I thought it was almost like you were trying to like get to the point that you were comfortable with. But that part when you were like, oh, I'm an investor, I'm trying to get a couple other properties. I mean, I thought that was like smooth, natural, to the point, and good.
Okay, so let's hear what he has to say now. So you just answered his question about web pages and then just kind of left it up there for him to respond to. So he'll probably have more questions, I would guess, but let's see what he says.
3 bedroom, 3 bedroom. Oh, okay. 1.5 bath. 1.5 bath. Basement. Okay. And is the house in pretty good shape? Did you renovated? I haven't worked. Nope. Okay. Yep, needs work. But like the roof, is the roof pretty good still? The windows? It's pretty decent. It's need probably put a little patches of it. My neighbor looked at it. Okay, I don't know.
Pausing it.
Okay.
So Joe, you got him there. You got him engaged. Jesus Christ.
It's hard to...
Dude, you sit on the other... Why are you sitting on that side? Where you have to cross over?
Well, it's in the middle.
All right, but Joe, you got him there, and this is a good, this is definitely a credit, you know, to how much better you've gotten, I think, at this. That you're able to get this guy who's very tricky to and being very difficult to get him to open up and start talking about the house. So that's good. I think you can have more of like a back and forth on the house without as much of a preamble, right? Like you're still kind of like he'll tell you something about the house, and you're kind of like and how about then you ask like the other question. Do you understand the difference?
Yeah.
Like you just have just talked about the house, right? If he's like, oh, 2 bedrooms and a bathroom and a kitchen. Okay, cool. And when was the last time it was updated? We want it to be more conversational as opposed to like, and you're
like a
thinking of,
checklist, like, okay, I asked that question.
right,
Okay,
you're thinking of the next question you're supposed to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Like now's the point where you have to turn the call and get him talking. This is what's going to make or break a call like this. If you can get him talking, and the easiest way at first is about the house, with a normal back and forth kind of conversation, then you'll have a good chance, I think, on getting this appointment. If you don't, right, and it's like, next question, and he just gives short answers, and there's no report built, you're probably not going to get it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got that.
What were you gonna say?
No, I was just going to say, once he said that the house needs some work, that was kind of, to me, maybe an open door to ask, well, what type of work would you say you need?
Right. Yeah, see, that'd be example, Joe, of a conversational question to ask opening.
Yeah.
You just have to use active listening and just kind of be thinking. So don't just be thinking about, okay, what's the next question? Let me remember the next question I have to ask.
Yeah.
Like have like natural questions. So like Kevin said, right? Like, oh yeah, my house like needs a little bit of work. Oh, what kind of work?
Like more transitional.
Just a normal conversation, right? Like, oh yeah, it's like it's got a basement. Oh, okay, and what's the basement ceiling height? Is it like finished basement or unfinished, or what kind of basement is it? Is it like the bedroom and bathroom down there, or right? Just all sorts of questions you can ask. You just want to have a conversation back and forth.
He was also like repeating back, like all of it.
Joe was?
Yeah, he was like 2 beds. He was like, we get 2 beds. And then he was like 3 baths. And he was like 3 baths.
Yeah.
Which is okay to an extent, I feel like, but like not every time.
Why are you doing that, Joe? Is it repeating what they said?
I actually didn't notice that I was doing that. I think it might have just been subconsciously.
Okay. Yeah, you want to get in the conversation. Yes. Yeah. I think it's like you buying time to remember the next question.
Yeah, and Joe, I think, part of it is, like John is saying, treating it like a real conversation. If you were actually personally interested in going to buy this person's house and you were having this conversation from the perspective that you might buy this guy's house, if he was like, it needs some work, you start to think about it like from the sense that, I am actually going to buy this house potentially, so when he says things, you want to be like, it needs work, that's relevant, what kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, make it change my mindset.
Correct.
Yeah, but overall, I mean, it's definitely good you got to this point. It's just these are the tweaks that are going to help you convert more of these appointments, a higher percentage.
Okay.
And then you can also, Joe, as you're asking these questions, you can another trick, and Kevin for you too, is like you can keep reiterating why you're asking the question, especially if someone's resistant at first. Right? So you ask, so you say, tell me about the house, and they give you something short. Well, it's 3 beds, 2 baths, basement. Okay, and like what kind of condition is it in? I'm just asking because I just want to be able to make you like the most accurate offer that I can, and I haven't seen the inside. So, could you tell me a bit about the condition of the house?
Yeah.
Like you're justifying and reminding them what they're going to get out of answering your questions. That's another good trick. If someone you can tell they like are being abrupt with you, continually remind them about why you're asking the questions, what they're going to get out of it.
That's a good.
Okay.
But that's like a good trick, especially if someone's tricky.
And then, one other thing I think, there's only so many things that people are going to, objections people are going to throw up, right? You're going to get a lot of the same ones, like who are you with, what's your name?
How'd you get my number?
Why are you calling? How'd you get my number?
What's your offer?
But yeah, it's got to be less than 10, right? They're all sort of, and some of them are kind of the same, a variation of the same question, right? Like who are you, what's your name, why are you calling?
What company are you with? They're all kind of the same question, which is like,
so like,
who the fuck are you?
You should be able to like answer those questions in your sleep, right? Any of those questions come up, you have an answer, it's quick, and then so you don't have to think about it, and you just follow it up with a question, right? So like when we have to think and process, like that slows us down, right? And then that's where we mess up or forget to ask a question after we answer a question. There's only so many questions they're going to be able to pose to you. And so if you just have an answer that you're ready to throw out, it'll be easier for you to get it back on track.
Okay.
So let's keep listening to this one, see how this one ended up.
Is it paid off? Oh, nice. Paid off? Okay. You wouldn't have my number. You wouldn't be looking at it.
It's hard to understand.
Do you owe quite a bit on it? I mean, if you don't mind me asking, how much do you owe? I don't know. Like a rough guess, maybe. I don't know. I'm more talking about with the bank. I'm trying to say what can come up. We'll be able to come out. We'll see what happens. We're working something out. Okay. So would you say you owe more than what it's worth? More than what? Do you owe more than what the house is worth? Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Give us more than what it's worth.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So I'm trying to look. You're in South Philly, is that right? Yeah, you got all the information. Who are you? The police? No. I mean, they're throwing them everything.
Police?
Oh yeah, he doesn't trust.
Sorry about that. No, that's what it is. Hate your ass. Nobody should be allowed. No, it's Google. The internet knows everything about it. See. So I was driving back.
Yeah, so this would be an example where you want to reiterate, Joe.
In the area.
This would be an example where you want to reiterate. Right, like he doesn't trust you still. Like, are you the police or whatever the fuck you said? Right, so it's like, yeah, I know. I'm sorry for like all the questions. Like, this just helps me get a sense, a picture in my mind of what the house is like, so that I can make you like the most accurate offer that I can. You want to like keep reminding like why we're having this conversation. What's the point of all these questions that you're asking, especially when someone is resistant, because they don't want to keep just answering your questions. And then at some point you got to switch. I think with this guy, if you can't get the rapport built, right, which he's like you haven't been able to break through with him, then I think at some point you just got to kind of switch to try to close on the appointment. probably around like this point in the call, because the kind of questions are kind of leading to nowhere. He's getting like more suspicious. He doesn't want to keep answering your questions.
Yeah.
So you have to just kind of try to get the appointment and then maybe call the day of and get the final information you need from him.
Yeah.
Because we're kind of going down like he's feeling interrogated. Who are you, the police? So you have to kind of listen to what someone's telling you.
I think asking like reminding them the purpose of the question, like John is saying, is especially important when you ask them what they owe, right? Because that's a more sensitive question. So just so I know if an offer would even make sense on this property, can you give me a sense of what you owe, right? Like it's extra important if you're going to ask my questions a little bit more invasive.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get the rest of it real quick. I know we're over time.
In District 5, I'm actually going to be meeting with another person that I got in contact with. I could stop by in 5-10 minutes of your time and give you a written offer right there. Just stop by and give you an exact offer. Would that be alright? Give me a call.
He said give me a call.
Okay. Because I have my schedule right here. If I know you down for Tuesday at 5, I can call you Monday afternoon and confirm that. And then, will that work? Call me. Okay.
Call me.
Alright, sounds good. Well then again, I can also, if you want, I can send you an email with a little bit more info. Do you have I could send. Probably money, man. I got to make a decision. I'm thinking about it. I'm just really thinking about something right now. Probably something. Probably money. Probably money. Right, early. And I'll call you Monday. We'll figure it out. Okay, I'll send you a text Monday here and Tuesday. Just shoot me a text first. Alright,
We're having like two different conversations.
Alright, thanks, then. You have a good one.
You want me to make you an offer?
Huh? What's your name again? It's not my name? Joseph. Joseph? She may tell you. You can tell me the information. Alright.
Alright, let's pause it.
Alright.
Yeah, Joe, I would like to give your last name too. If you don't want to give your real last name, make it up. Like he's got to feel like he knows you more, man.
Okay.
Right? Like, yeah, my name is like Joe Gastolo, actually, or whatever you want to say your name is, right? My name is Joe Witherspoon. I actually live right in DC. I own a bunch of rentals. Recap for him who the hell you are and why you're calling him.
Yeah.
He doesn't trust you. He's skeptical. Who are you, the police? So you have to share more. Remind him of the story. Give more information about yourself. Something to put him at ease. He doesn't trust you enough to have you come into his house.
Okay.
Did you get that vibe from him?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and that's kind of why I wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that.
So share more stuff, right? Yeah, again, my name's Joe Williams. Like I said, I know this is kind of weird to be answering all these questions, but I just am a guy that has a few rentals, and I really like the District Heights area, and I'm looking to buy some more properties there. So I'm just kind of trying to figure out from you, just if what I can offer might be a good fit for you or not. That's kind of why I'm asking these questions. I know it's a little strange. I'm trying to put him at ease.
Okay.
And then remember to close on the date. You did close at the date, but the first time you tried to close on the appointment, you asked, will that be okay? I can come by and make you an offer, take 5 minutes. Will that be okay? What are you supposed to end on?
I can come by, make you a handwritten offer. How does Thursday at 5 sound?
Right.
Close.
You're supposed to end on the date, close on the date, right? Not close on will that be okay?
Okay.
So you should do that too. But then after that, you went and tried to close on the date, so that was good. You just need to have another conversation with this guy, and you need to get more trust and rapport built. There just wasn't enough.
Okay. Yeah, I'll call him back.
Yeah, it's worth a try. I mean, he owes more than the house is worth.
Thing.
So it's kind
It sounds like. I mean, it sounds like he maybe has some distress. I mean, other basic questions. It's what do you want for the house? Really, you didn't get to that point.
He probably does have some motivation there because he didn't trust you, and he didn't really seem like the kind of guy that would engage a conversation like that unless he felt like there was some benefit to him. So there may be something there.
Okay.
We remember there's other kind of questions, Joe, right, than just the house like we talked about yesterday, right? What are the other kinds of questions?
Like trying to figure out obviously their motivation for selling.
So, no, like, what are the questions? So what are the other questions?
We talked about asking obviously the condition of the house, major components, how much they owe. We asked them about the renovations, how long they've owned the house for.
Right, so how long they've owned the house would be another one, right? What else? Right, like Kevin said, price timeline, Joe. So what's the price question and what's the timeline question?
Yeah, if we were gonna, if the offer, that you hear is obviously something that could be beneficial to you, when would you want to sell by it?
Right, that's timeline, good, and price?
And the price, do you have a price in mind or an idea of how much you would want for the house?
Okay, well, what other kinds of questions?
I think if I understand.
Price, timeline, what they owe, condition of the house. There were 6, right? Price, timeline, condition of the house, what they owe.
Why would they think about
Time to
Right.
sell and motivation.
Why? Right.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? Oh, and I'm just curious why you're kind of open to selling. So he doesn't want to sell, right? Remember, Joe, how we don't want to say why you want to sell? I'm just going to say, well, I don't want to sell, you called me. Just curious why you're sort of open to hearing an offer, like what makes you kind of open to it. Right. And then there's one more, isn't there?
No, it's only 6. We did 6. Condition,
Or when?
price, timeline,
Condition, price, timeline,
why.
Motivation.
why they want to sell.
Do we say condition?
Motivation isn't one of them, dude, because all these are getting to motivation.
Yeah.
Like timeline gets to motivation. Why they want to sell gets to motivation. The price they want gets to like all these things get to it. That's not like one of the 6. So price, timeline,
why they want to sell,
why they want to sell, condition,
of the house,
what they owe.
and what they owe. Yeah, so something.
Was there one other one?
And what they want for it.
Well, we said price. Condition,
Oh, yeah, we said price. I guess what they want from
Yeah,
it.
condition, price, timeline.
Was there another one?
What they owe,
Owner? No.
why they want to sell.
Sometimes you did add owners yesterday. You said
Oh, right.
Owner.
Maybe that's the 6th one. Is just finding out if anyone else owns the house with them.
Okay.
And why do we care about that, Joe?
Because we want all the sellers present in the meeting if they can.
Why do we want all the sellers present?
Because you would need, the permission of all to sell the house.
Right. Right. If one of the sellers is missing, then what happens?
Then you have to try and organize another day, I'm assuming, to try and get with that owner as well.
Exactly. So, Joe, can you do me a favor and write those 6 things down on just a piece of paper or something, or post it wherever you make calls?
Yeah, I'm opening up a note right now in my...
Right, because that'll help you as you're having the call, because you're just going to like a lot of house questions, then you kind of remember to ask what he owed, but then all the other ones, you kind of forgot about, I think, or just it didn't come to mind. And that also helps get them talking more, and that helps you build trust and rapport, and that helps you get the appointment, as well as giving us information. So it does 2 things. All right, so we'll go over these 6 things again in the future as well. We should probably do it every training, like just have you guys just go over them, just like drill on it. Okay, all right, that's it. Let's
All
make sure you do. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cody, I'm gonna call this guy, this new guy right now.
Okay.